Virgo, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Virgo for the week ahead. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Keep in mind these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone, so check out your other placements. Take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. Okay, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is the energy around your week for Virgo? Deep knowing. Very interesting. This is such a fascinating card because when you receive this, it really suggests that right now you have a sense of something that has not appeared yet, but you have this deep knowing, this understanding of something. Whether or not you're trusting that deep knowing or not remains to be seen and could be different for everyone watching. But at this time, Virgo, you've got this deep knowing about something, and it's very interesting. I love seeing this card because it reminds us that we know things, like our body knows things, our intuition knows things. This is a time to sort of really pay attention to this almost hypersensitivity that you're experiencing right now, because your intuition is definitely got some kind of information for you. There is sort of this tapping into consciousness that's happening right now, but it's nothing that has appeared yet in the material world. It is something that you have this sense about, this deep knowing, something that is guiding you. And I'm wondering if you're listening to it or not. It's very interesting because the trick is to listen to it. You know, you're being invited almost into this dialogue with Source. This intuitive conversation is happening between you and your higher self, you and your higher power. And whether or not you're listening to that or ignoring it, that is a very human choice. And so we'll see. Let's dive into the tarot cards and see what messages we have for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. There's a deep knowing. What is it related to? Are you listening to it? Are you ignoring it? Are you seeing signs and synchronicities that are sort of pointing you back to this deep knowing in your dreams, maybe in your imagination? Look at that Death card in reverse. I bet you're not listening to this deep knowing. I bet you're resisting this deep knowing, and it's actually holding back a transformation. There could be something trying to shift, trying to transform, and you're ignoring it, or you're willfully choosing, no, I don't want that path, you know. Let's keep going, get the rest of the cards here. King of Pentacles, Virgo, that is Taurus energy. You could be dealing with a Taurus, or you might be embodying that. There's the Two of Cups. So, you know, this is intriguing. You've got a lot of confidence, maybe too much confidence. You've got so much confidence in the material world. Are you ignoring what's happening on the spiritual realm? You might be. You might be so focused on something going on with a relationship, and you might have so much sort of confidence in the material world. You might sort of be a master of your life here in the material world, and so you've got this overconfident sort of belief about your ability to shift things that you haven't counted that spirit is involved as well, and that your higher self and your higher power may be trying to get you to see something in a relationship with that Two of Cups. And it's almost like you're so confident in yourself and your own beliefs that you're ignoring this deep knowing. That Knight of Rods coming out in reverse kind of confirms what I was just saying, because that's a very self-sabotaging energy. And there's the Three of Cups in reverse. So that's very interesting. You may not be trusting some people in your life. You might be finding that certain friendships or certain relationships are not at the place that you want them to be. You've got sort of a decision to make here about a relationship and whether or not you're going to allow it to transform or you're going to try to keep it as it is. I feel like you're really trying to control something here, but not with, you're trying to control it through some kind of, forgive me here, Virgo, but almost there seems to be some kind of manipulation here. And I feel like you might not be intentionally doing this, but there is this sort of situation that's needing to be made amends. And there's something about your energy that's holding this back. Are you able to admit when you've done something to hurt somebody? Are you trying to manipulate somebody into seeing a falseness? Virgo, again, don't shoot the messenger, but this feels like gaslighting. This feels like somebody is being gaslit. Someone is being manipulated. You're doing something to sort of create the outcome that you want to see, but you're not using your energy and action to shift it. You're again, Virgo, you're sitting in a space here where you could be trying to hang on to something so much so that you're actually manipulating things in your favor. Again, forgive me. But that, we all go through moments like that where we're trying to hang on to things and we're putting in all our effort to keep things the way we want them. And yet, at that same time, we are denying ourselves something transformative. Something may need to change in this relationship, Virgo. And you could be sabotaging yourself by trying to sort of tweak things in your favor, or by not taking responsibility for something that you might need to take responsibility for. It's interesting. I kind of feel like this isn't your first time in this kind of situation. I feel like you've been in situations like this before, and like I was saying at the beginning of your reading, you're good at this now. Like you've almost got this, you're a master. You're very good at getting what you want, Virgo, but there is one relationship right now that is pulling back, and you're not cool with that. You're not cool with that, but you haven't taken the time to try to understand why this is happening. Like you're just trying to keep things the way you want them, the way you envision them, but you've got this King of Rods in reverse now on the bottom of the deck, which says to me that you're almost ready to explode. Your temper is hot. Like you're slowly losing patience with some relationship right now, and yeah. So you're pulling out all the stops, even though, again, you've got this deep knowing here. And I feel like if you sort of took a moment of stillness, like this Hermit card suggests, to sit in this energy and not try to control the outcome, you might reach sort of an epiphany moment here to really understand yourself and what this experience is trying to teach you about yourself. There may be that you have so much power over others. I feel like right now I must be reading for Virgos that are like leaders or masters and have a great number of followers or people who look up to them. And there's one relationship here that is causing you to feel like this is slipping out of your hands, and you're not allowing it to go. And that's holding back something very transformative here that could be trying to teach you something very meaningful, and it's ultimately when we step into these kind of energies, it's because we're afraid of something. We're afraid to lose something. I feel like you're afraid to lose this connection. You may have a very sentimental bond or a very sentimental sort of relationship with someone and I feel like this formed in the past, and you're very attached and you don't want to see them go. But that might be what needs to happen to shift this energy. You might need to sort of surrender them. You know, sometimes, like that expression says, when you love something, you have to set it free. If it wants to go, you have to let it go. Something happened here. It may have involved a third party with that Three of Cups in reverse. There may have been something going on with a third party. And it kind of feels like you're trying to make it like it's not what that person thinks, which is where I sort of felt that gaslighting energy. This is very interesting. Yeah, this is a fear of change in a relationship, and you're trying to hold on to it even though it's time to let it go. Very, very interesting. And I think you have a deep knowing that it's time to let it go, but you're almost, you might not be used to people wanting to leave. You might be used to people wanting to be around you so much that the idea that this person is sort of moving away from you is challenging you in a way, and it's bringing up some fear. It's bringing up some fear. You might not want to acknowledge your role in this. When I see that Hermit in reverse with that Two of Swords. Very interesting reading, Virgo. Let's see what you need to surrender or surrender to. Got one card coming out there, two cards. Okay. On the bottom of the deck. Interesting, that card. Okay, so surrender to trust is coming out, and so is surrender to play. Now, surrender to trust says, trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident with what you have chosen as the right path. So, you know, keep moving and trust yourself. But, you know, I can't help but think that your deep knowing here is to actually surrender fear, which was what was on the bottom of the deck. Let go of the fearful stories that you're telling yourself. Stay in the moment, focus on solutions, and celebrate every baby step forward. So surrendering fear, I feel, is a big one here for you in this reading, Virgo. Surrendering to trust. I think this card is trying to guide us to surrendering to the trust of this deep knowing. And so, you know, there may be a tough decision that has to be made here, but I think you know deep down inside what you need to do. And you may or may not be doing that right now. When I see a couple of these cards here in reverse, I feel like you need to surrender to trusting this deep knowing that you have about this relationship, and that maybe right now you're not. This is an interesting card. I think this could shake up your energy in a beautiful way when I see that Magician in reverse. Take a break from overthinking about a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. And so you may need some time to sort of play, doing something that is rejuvenating and nourishing for you, so that you can let go of this fear, so that you can surrender and trust this deep knowing that you have. And I can't help but think that it's letting go of somebody. It's letting go of a relationship from the past that has been sabotaged somehow. And instead of trying to get the other person to stay, it's almost like you just have to let them go. This is very interesting. I feel like it's a very specific reading. Thank you so much for joining me for this. I'm going to leave it at that. If this has resonated for you, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. If you would like a personal reading, you can find that information in the description below. As always, I'm sending you so much love and light, my friends. Take care.